In today's video, we're going to be taking a deeper dive into the performance of the brand new Aactive 2.3 electric pressure washer. Alrighty guys, so I'm going to pause this video right here really quickly to announce a giveaway. Now, I actually bought an Aactive 2.3 as soon as they were available for pre-order. Aactive also reached out to me and sent me a unit for free. So what happened was the free unit came before, so I've been testing that one, but I got my the one that I purchased yesterday, and I'm gonna be giving that away to one of you guys. So in order to win, we're gonna do it pretty simple. First off, whenever I do a giveaway, the comments go crazy with spam and people trying to scam people, trying to get you to, they'll say, hey, you won, and then they ask for money to ship it and all that kind of stuff. I do not ask for any money to ship it, so make sure don't fall for those scams. I will announce the winner on camera in an upcoming video. So in order to win, make sure to like this video, comment down below, and share it with somebody. All right, you just hit that share button, send it to a friend, let them check it out as well. And then also, if you want an additional chance to win, go over to my Instagram page. It's just at I'm Josh V, and like the post of this thing, comment there, and also share that as well. That'll enter you in for a secondary chance, and we'll be giving this thing away, guys. And now let's get back to the review. Now, in my last video, I did a side-by-side comparison with the Washer Pro from Big Boy, the Washer Duo from Big Boy, and the new Aactive 2.3. This thing got phenomenal numbers, guys. The rated performance that they have this thing listed at is 1100 PSI, 2.3 GPM. My test, I got exactly 1100 PSI, but I got 2.2 GPM. Again, we talked about that in the last video, and I'll link that up here for you guys if you want to see that. Over time, the pumps break in, they kind of settle in, and they do get a little more efficient. So the 2.3, I don't have any doubt that it will get there. But in today's video, I want to see the real usable application. So what we're going to do is test this thing using a water tank. This is a gravity-fed water tank system. For all you mobile detailers out there, you may want to know that. So we're going to test the actual usable performance with that setup. Do we lose some performance from it? I don't know yet. We'll see. So I've already hooked the system up. We've already purged all the water out. Now, for my gravity-fed system, I just tested it, and we're getting 5 gallons per minute of water flow out of the tank. So again, this thing's getting rated at 2.3. I was getting 2.2. So it should be enough, but we're gonna test that and see how it works. The other thing that we're gonna be doing is testing this unit with an UBERFLEX hose to see if there's any difference. Now, they definitely, within their source material on Aactive's website and with the box, it does state that they recommend using a steel braided hose. The hose that this thing comes with is fantastic, guys. It's 40 feet long, steel braided, relatively flexible. It's great. It's a 1/4 inch thick. It's great. There's no need to upgrade to an extra 10 feet and going with the UBERFLEX for this. However, they have had issues with their 2.0 and an UBERFLEX. I'm coming to find out more and more and more. My unit's okay. Sometimes it runs a little bit longer than it should, but it's not surging on me on my 2.0, and I am using an UBERFLEX hose. I've used an UBERFLEX hose with everything else without issue. So I wanted to see, is it really the UBERFLEX, or is it a component within the pressure washer on the 2.0 that may not be able to handle it? I don't know. I've seen a side-by-side comparison, factory hose to an UBERFLEX hose, and it seems like the UBERFLEX hose is the culprit for the 2.0 surging. Because that hose is not steel reinforced, they say that it expands. Now, it doesn't really expand. It does tighten, obviously, when water goes through, it may expand like 1% or something. But once it's filled, it's not contracting and expanding each time. So I don't know. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me, but the tests don't lie. So we're gonna test the UBERFLEX hose on this unit just to see, for you guys that wanna know, does it make a difference? And then we're gonna go ahead and wash my car. I'm gonna hook it up to a foam cannon. We'll test the different foam cannons. I've seen on some other tests that they ran a 1.5 to keep it under 15 amps, 1.5 orifice in the foam cannon. I don't have any of those with me. They actually ship one. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look at it. So it might be a 1.5, but we'll test that and go from there. But first things first, let's find out, will it work with the gravity-fed system? All right, guys, just to be completely thorough, we're gonna re-weigh the bucket again. It was getting, I did it in ounces on my last test. We're gonna stick to that just because the calculation's easy enough for me. All right, so we are still coming in at 40.9 ounces, same numbers we were getting yesterday or on the last video, which was filmed 2 days ago. So 40.9. So now let's go ahead and start testing this with the gravity-fed system. Again, water's running through, it's all set up. I've already purged out the water. Just gonna pull the trigger and test the PSI. maybe 10 PSI difference. 1100 is what we were getting with water from a normal hose spigot. So here you go, I'll show you. I mean, that's a marginal error there. I'm gonna say it's the same. Like I said, instead of 1100, maybe 1090, but pretty much the same thing. Let's go ahead and test the water flow. Again, with this nozzle, this is the factory nozzle, the 4.6 that it comes with. I was getting, let's see here, what was I getting? 2.2 gallons per minute. So here we go, guys. We're gonna stick it in the bucket. We're gonna run it for 1 minute and see what we get. And here we go. All right, there's 1 minute. Again, guys, another thing initially, let's talk about the numbers on this thing. I did a decibel meter test as well. I'm not saying my decibel meter was accurate, so the number may not be accurate, but it was louder than the other machines. It's not a quiet machine. It does sound like it's running very, very efficiently, but there is a higher pitch to it than some of the other machines. So keep that in mind. I've been looking at the comments of my original video, and a lot of people are commenting, oh, is it too loud? Am I gonna upset my neighbors? It's louder than a full-blown commercial grade unit. So the Big Boy Washer Pro, extremely quiet. The Krenzlas, extremely quiet. My AR630 TSS, extremely quiet. This is not that. It's getting the performance of those, and it's definitely built out much more robust than the 2.0 was, but it is still loud. But again, not loud enough to, you're not gonna upset your whole neighborhood. Okay, so we're going with the scale again. And again, in ounces, on the original video when I tested this hooked up to a hose spigot, I was getting 335.4, I think, something like that. So let's just go ahead and see, make sure this tears out to 0. Okay, here we go. Make sure this is all the way on there. So we lost a little bit, guys, 327.7 ounces. So let me go ahead and do that calculation. Yeah, we lost a little bit, but we're still at 2.15 essentially. It's 2.148, so we're gonna round that up. 2.15 gallons per minute out of a mobile unit. I mean, gravity fed, that's incredible, right? We're still getting basically the 1100 PSI and 2.15. Now the next thing I wanna check is the amperage reading. Again, I can't remember off the top of my head, I think it was just under 13 amps when I was running it before. So I'm gonna pull the trigger, it's plugged into the wall over here. Let me check this. Yeah, 12.9 amps, so no issues there at all. If you wanted to increase the PSI, you could go to a smaller orifice nozzle. You're gonna drop your GPM, but it'll bump that up. Actually, let's do that as well, because I know a lot of people are gonna ask me, hey, is this good for around the house as well, even though this is more of a wall mount or stationary system that you would run a hose to. But spraying down your driveway, is it gonna be a good option for that? Let's try a smaller orifice and see what happens with the machine, and just go from there. All right, guys, so I have a 3.5 nozzle here. Now, I'm not saying this is not recommended by Aactive. I'm just kind of putting it through the paces and really seeing what it's capable of. I want to keep it under 15 amps, though, so let me see, first things first, what this is doing. Nope, 17.6. Let me go to, this is a, what was this, 3.5? Let's go to a 4.0. Okay, so here's a 4.0. You plug that in and test the amperage with that one. Again, we want to stay under that 15. Nope, we're just above it. We're at 15.4, and then it settled down to about 15.2. Just so we see what the PSI is there. 1300. So not worth messing with that. Stick with the original nozzles that this thing comes with at 4.6. Okay, so now the next test, guys, I'm just going to, I don't know how to test this. I want to test the UBERFLEX hose to see if there's any issue with this thing. I'm just going to pull the trigger, stop, pull the trigger, stop, pull the trigger, stop 30 times. Then we'll do it with the UBERFLEX and see if there's any delay, anything, just any sort of sign of an issue with that UBERFLEX hose. So I don't know. I don't know if this really makes a difference, but we're going to do it anyway. 30 times. Here we go. Okay, very, very precise machine, right? It's firing on and off perfectly, no issues. Let me go ahead and back this off. We're gonna put an UBERFLEX on there, do that same test and see if there's any difference. Now again, I know over time, This test may not be able to, may not pick anything up, and over time, maybe using UBERFLEX could change things, but let's just see if we can find any difference right off the bat. All right, guys, so we've got the UBERFLEX hooked up. Now, again, guys, this is not a commercial grade hose, right? It's absolutely phenomenal. If you're running all those basic pressure washers, the Ryobis, all those ones that come with terrible, really cumbersome hoses that are just an absolute nightmare to work with, this is the best upgrade for it. They're fantastic. Now, when you go into these more professional grade ones, like I said, no need to actually change this hose. It's great. And then there are some companies that sell a very, very similar hose to that. Adams in particular, they make a 40, a 60, and 100-foot version, steel braided just like that, and it has swivels on both ends, and it's a very, very reasonable price. They're sold out right now because that thing's such a good value. But keep that in mind if you are looking for a hose on that level. Let's go ahead and pull the trigger on this and see. Again, 30 times is what we did last time, so here we go. All right, guys, so I think that was 10. And I'm already hearing a slight delay in the beginning of it versus using that other hose. There's a slight delay. That's all I'm noticing so far. Actually, hang on. Do you hear that? Hang on, let me see if I can get that for you. You hear the squeak? So something's going on. That squeak wasn't there before, but it's definitely doing it every time. So let's continue 20 more just to see if it changes at all. But already we do have that squeak, and we do have a longer delay for it to start. Not much, but it is there. There's 20 more, exact same all the way through the process. I do want to show you guys, I wasn't paying attention to this with the other hose, so we will switch back to that and test this real quick, but I'll show you with my phone. You do get quite a bit of movement once you start the pressure, so I'm going to go ahead and film this. Here we go. See how the hose is really torquing itself? So we're going to go ahead and switch back to the steel braided hose that it comes with. Look and see if it does that at all, and then we're going to wash the car. We're going to test foam cannons. We're going to see how easy it is to rinse product off, because with this high of a flow rate, should be fantastic. So here we go, about to pull the trigger. There's movement to it, but not as much as the UBERFLEX. So again, they state, use this. It comes with a very good hose. Stick to that. All right, guys, so I've got my car outside here. I hooked the pressure washer back up to a normal water source, so it's straight from the spigot. As you can see, we're right back to a solid 1100 PSI, like on the dot. Okay, so we're good to go there. Let me go ahead and grab the foam cannon, foam blaster that this thing comes with, because it's funky, but I want to see how it does. All right, guys, so here is the foam cannon. I just opened it up. I put 15 squirts of Geon Bathe. It has a little pump top, 15 squirts of that into there. Now I'm gonna just go ahead and take this. Again, guys, I'm not using DI water right now. Little factors like DI water, heat can affect the foam production slightly. I've done a bunch of tests. It's not like a big difference, but it can add some sort of difference to it. So I'm just going to fill this up. Okay. We're all good, and let's go ahead and test this thing just to see how it works. Again, it's a pretty funky little design. There's a little tab right here and then a little arrow back here. Line those up, push it down, and then twist it. Again, the head folds down for easy storage, I guess. I'm assuming that was for shipping, but whatever. I do realize that I'm not using DI water right now, which I typically do, and I'm washing my Porsche with it. So I will rinse this over at the end to be safe, but let's go ahead and see how this thing works. So obviously I talked about this in the first video, but right now it's wide open. The only adjustment you have is to pull it forward, and that closes it up, so that gives you your fan. And then you also do have the ability to go from vertical and horizontal, so that's cool. This little thing up top here, I think adjusts the foam production. Yeah, if it's turned to this way, it's barely producing any foam at all. You turn it the other way, it starts producing foam. It's not thick at all. It's good. It's a really good foam blaster, like the ones that, where it comes with like some of the cheaper units. It's a really good version of that, but it's no proper foam cannon. Whoop, wrong way. Nope. Well, it was working. There we go. Well, the heck. I don't know, guys. It's not working now. I don't know what's going on with this thing. No matter what way I turn it, I'm not getting any foam production. And when I was pointing it down, this goes like that. So, what the heck? I mean, if you look down here, let me move the camera for you guys. I was getting foam. Here, let me, like, you'll be able to see right there on the ground. I was getting soapy, you know, foam. Not anymore. So I really don't know what to say about that. Let's just go ahead and take this solution that is in here directly and pour it into an MJJC. Let's do a foam cannon. Actually, I've got an SV3 right here, so we're gonna run the SV3. Now I'm gonna go ahead and rinse it out really quickly just to make sure that we don't have any leftover residue from a previous soap. All right, so we're good to go. So I'm just gonna go ahead and open this and pour this directly into here, and then we'll test that. Interesting. It doesn't look, I mean, it's full. It doesn't look like it was sucking anything through. So I don't know. Just pour this in here. Okay, again, this was 15 squirts of Geon Bathe, and then the rest was water, which filled us, after all that, about halfway. So it looks like that thing's probably about a 500 milliliter container, but it really doesn't matter if it doesn't work. So whatever, right? So let's go ahead and tighten this down. Here we go. So there we go, much better. So now we're getting that nice thick foam, right? So let's just go ahead and switch this over now to the factory nozzle, wherever I put that. I'm pretty sure I took it off right here just to fill the water. Oh, yes, got it, we found it. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull out my phone now and show you the rinsing ability of this with this nice high flow. All right, guys, so here's the car, here we go. As you can see, it all pushes it all right off. Now the problem when you go with a lower GSM unit, even though it has higher PSI, it won't move all of this product off as quickly. So you end up spending more time rinsing. And that may not really matter to you, you know, if you're just working at home and you don't mind taking your time. As a professional, for me, speed is essential, right, to making money. And having a high-performing pressure washer like this is fantastic. Now, if I remember well, this one actually has a 1.25 orifice in it. So let me go ahead and check the amperage with this, because again, I think they talk about a 1.5, which would definitely spike this above the, if that's the case, the 1.25 will go above the 15 amps. So let's see. Yeah, we're at 18, we're spiking like 18.3 amps. So let me see if within the box of the Aactive, there is a little orifice. I don't know if it was for a foam cannon. Let me go check that really quickly. All right, guys, so here's a little package that comes with the Aactive 2.3. Get some bolts so you can wall mount it using that cage if you want to. And then there is a little orifice, and I'll show you guys how to replace this as well in your foam cannon. It works across the board with any like halfway decent foam cannon. It says included 1.45 millimeter foam cannon orifice for aftermarket foam cannons. We do not ensure compatibility with all aftermarket brands. Contact your foam cannon provider. Okay, so in order to change that out, on an MJJC, it's very, very simple because they have this whole M22 system, so you just back that off. On a different type of foam cannon, you may have to get onto the portion here, clamp on that, and then loosen it that way. But all you do is take off the quick connect portion, and then right in here, as you can see that little slot, that's your orifice, right? So you just take a flathead screwdriver, insert it in, turn it, back it out. Very, very simple. Okay, so that's out. Take your new one that Aactive includes for you. Just drop it in there. Make sure that you're not cross-threading anything. And for the MJJC, does it fit? Yes, it does. I almost thought it was big, but no, we are good. All right, so there's that. Now it shouldn't spike above that 15 amps. So we'll check that again. And then we'll also check the foam production, because with the larger orifice, typically when you want more foam, you drop the orifice size. Again, you have to work within that balance, because then you're spiking amps. So let's see. First things first, the foam production. Definitely runnier for sure, but still good. Again, keep in mind, this car is ceramic coated, so the foam doesn't want to stick to it as much. It's kind of running down. Let me go ahead and check the amperage rating. Yeah, guys, we're good. With this orifice, 13.21, so completely safe. I'm gonna go ahead and wash this thing. That's gonna wrap it up for today's video. Does it work with a gravity fed system? Yes, with barely any effect to the performance. Still phenomenal performance. When you go over to a foam cannon, the one they give you didn't work for me. It worked for about a second and then didn't work anymore. When you go with yours, use the included 1.45 millimeter orifice inside your foam cannon so that you don't spike your amperage. So that's the indicator there. So I hope that video helps you. A little more clarification on this unit. Again, yes, it is louder than the full-blown commercial grade items. It's still not unbearably loud. It's louder, but it's not that bad, and it does sound like a good performing unit. It's not a crazy high pitch or anything like that. It's higher, but it still sounds really good. So I hope that video helps you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and keep washing this thing down, but thanks so much for watching. Please make sure to like the video, make sure you subscribe, turn on that notification bell. We'll see you on the next one.